I'll make sure the dog is black. And you too. So I saw, is that the thing from Mike? I didn't read it all.
Right here is the part that's really important. Only they would open the gate to enforce zoning ordinances, building codes, and sanitation, excavation, water availability. They would be obliged to enforce these codes and ordinances, and there's a lot of them. There would be a private entity to violate violations against
That's just his take.
It is.
It makes sense, but he has no idea.
It's true. But yes, it's true. But this is what it says too, is it's hard to define these freedoms we have. We can come and go as we please. With respect to our neighbors, we can park anywhere, we can business to attend. We build tall art schools, mini houses, concrete bottle fences, landscape, grow plants and trees, live in containers, tents,
Sound check.
cars,
Can everybody hear me okay?
stands, and boulders in the ground.
All right, guys, I'd like to call this board meeting to order. For the roll call, I would like to announce Peaches Suzanne McKenzie has offered her resignation from the board of directors. And as temporary president, I do accept that resignation, and we thank her for her services and willingness to step up. Now, if we will, I'm going to call on a roll call. Please state your name. My name is Christina Swistak.
Jen Nelson.
Dave Huntington. Justin Davis.
Wyatt Samora.
Lynn Bright.
Jack, 2 horses, Margin.
Thank you, everyone. One who is not called in is Cookie Richardson. What I'd like to do now as the acting temporary president, I'd like to make a motion to elect Wyatt as our chairperson. All those in favor? Do I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? I am going to now turn this meeting over to Wyatt.
Thank you, Christina. There's an agenda that I hope you all have taken a look at. There's one over there, and there's one over there. Oh, they moved it. Where's the agenda? And then there's a third one. Who can tell me where the third one is? So, I have a little test for you. There's a spelling mistake on one of these agendas. The first person to jump up and tell me under what number that spelling mistake is and on which agenda will get a cheeseburger. So who can tell me?
Business! Do you really have a cheeseburger? Cheeseburger!
Who found it?
Cheeseburger!
Oh,
Cheeseburger!
Paul did. Okay, Paul. Come and see me after the meeting.
Congratulations!
We'll have another mistake next week.
Okay, I want to announce that there's an Ask It basket, and I'm announcing that now. This is part of just housekeeping here. We haven't quite got started yet. And I'm mentioning that because there are some people who would like to ask questions who wouldn't be comfortable standing up here and talking, and that's what the Ask It basket is about. You can go and fill it out. It's over by the lady there with the pink hat on. There's an Ask It basket right there, and there's paper there, so you can write your question out and put it in there. And then we will be asking, when we get to point number 5, the stakeholders' questions, you'll be able to stand up and ask questions, and we'll be taking questions also out of the Ask It basket. So the stakeholders is any person who has a vested interest in what goes on at Slab City. So that doesn't just include the residents. and the snowbirds who come here. It also includes the people who work in businesses, like the people in May's grocery store, the people in Nyland, the people in Calipatria, and the businesses there. Anybody who has a vested interest in what goes on at Slab City can put a question in the Ask It basket or stand up and ask their question in person. Okay, now as part of parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Order, I want to let you know that this is not a meeting of the membership. This is a board meeting. And you as members are allowed to be here to observe what's going on. And that's to keep it transparent, so that you know that there's no funny business going on with the board of directors. So the motions that are made today and voted on will be done by the board of directors. The time when you have an opportunity to participate is point number 5, the stakeholders question session. And then the other times you can participate is at the AGM, and the next AGM will take place in December 2014. In the bylaws, it states that the AGM must take place before the end of the year.
So if he's going under Robert's rules, he's supposed to be following the Sunshine Act, which there is no place for public comments on this agenda, which makes it illegal.
Essentially, yeah. That's what you just said.
Okay, so the agenda.
They're the only ones who have.
So the Sunshine Act
We're already into the agenda.
is in Robert's
The
rules.
board has been called to
Public-
order.
public
And
comments.
there's been a roll call, and I was elected as the chairperson. The next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 19th, 2014 meeting. The election of officers, the introductions of the elected directors, that's each of us up here. And then there's some business that we'll do, a motion to open a bank account, a motion to file IRS Form 1023, a motion to amend the articles, and a motion for a Bill of Rights. And then the stakeholders' questions, and your questions and answers will be noted in the minutes. And then a motion to set the date for the next board meeting, and then an adjournment. So what I need now is a motion from one of the directors to accept the agenda. State your motion.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include an item between 4B and 4C. And that item is motion to create a garbage dumpster committee.
Second that.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Jack, to include an additional item, I'll call it DII, a motion to create a garbage dumpster committee. Is there any discussion on this motion? Any board members? Are you ready for the question? Okay, all those in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
There's no
Passes
number here.
unanimously, so I will now ask again for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda with the amendments.
I second.
Motion by Christina, seconded by Justin, to accept the agenda as adopted. Is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, you ready for the question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So it passes unanimously. The agenda has now been accepted. Okay, we need a volunteer from the audience to modify the agendas that are already posted by adding the motion to create a garbage dumpster committee.
Another one?
Another volunteer?
Another volunteer? Thanks, Patty. Thank you. Goes between B and C on the agenda.
So the next point on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of January 19th. So these minutes, I'm just going to take a moment here to explain what they are so that you understand what your involvement can be with these minutes. That was the first annual general meeting that the Slab City Community Group Incorporated held. So it was a general meeting, not a board meeting like this one. And so these minutes have been read by the directors, and I'm going to ask them to make a motion to approve these minutes. And once they approved it, then these minutes can be distributed to each of the members, each of the voting members. And then you have the right and even the obligation to read those minutes and amend them, make changes to them. And those amendments will take place at the annual general meeting for 2014, which will be in December. So I'm asking then for a board member, particularly, hopefully one that's actually read the minutes. I'm sure we all have. I'm just kidding. Okay, moved by Lynn Bright, seconded by Justin, that the board approves the minutes of the January 19th, 2014 meeting. Is there any discussion on this motion?
I have one point of discussion. I'd like to thank Sue for typing these minutes up and taking the minutes at the January 19th. And give her a great round of applause. Thank you, Sue!
Well, actually, Lynn, that was out of order, but that's okay. All right, so is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, you ready for the question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say nay. There's no opposed, so it passes unanimously. So the minutes have been approved and can now be distributed to the members. Okay, and we do have minutes here, available up here, for those of you who would like to pick some up. And we can also have them available online, right? So if you have email, you prefer to get it online, we can send you a copy of them. Okay, you can put your email address over at the membership sign up. There's someone there to take email addresses? Okay. Okay, the next point on the agenda is the election of officers.
Take this to Mike Wright. Thanks, boss.
So, election of officers. So I'm going to call for nominations from the directors for a position of secretary. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Jack for secretary.
I'll second.
Okay, Lynn Bright is nominating Jack Dewars for secretary. Justin seconded that motion. This is a nomination, and so it's been seconded, and there is no discussion on a nomination. And all those in... Oh, sorry. Are there any other nominations from the floor for the position of secretary? Are there any other nominations for position of secretary? Okay, thank you. So it's unanimous then. So welcome and congratulations, Jack. You're now the secretary. Okay, I now call for nominations for our position of treasurer. Jen nominates Justin. Christina seconds that. So Justin is nominated, Christina seconded. Is there any other nominations from the board? Are there any other nominations? There being no more nominations, I hereby declare that Justin is nominations for the position of vice president? Lynn nominates Preacher Dave for Vice President, and Justin seconded that nomination. Are there any more nominations for Vice President? Are there any more nominations for Vice President? There being none, I hereby declare that Preacher David has won by acclamation the position of Vice President. Are there any nominations for position of President?
I nominate Christina.
Jen nominates Christina for position of president, seconded by Justin. Are there any more nominations from the floor for the position of president? Any more nominations from the board for position of president? Oh, there are no more. I hereby declare that Christina is the president of this organization by acclamation. So now we have some housekeeping. There has been some correspondence that has been received.
We received a letter from Mike Gold by registered mail. It's dated February 3rd, 2014. And it's only 2 lines. So I'm going to read the letter. And I'm going to hand it over to the secretary after it's read. The letter reads,
There's a
as a
stack
charter
of
member
pins right next to the Ask It basket.
of Slab City Community Group, I'm requesting the names and contact information for the membership and the board of directors as soon as possible. Mike Goal is a confirmed member, charter member of this organization.
I accept the letter and it's going to file. We're going to open this letter for discussion. He's requesting a list of names for the board of directors. I know there's a privacy issue with some people, so.
No.
Okay, I'm
Board
sorry.
of directors have already been announced. We can give them a list of that. No problem.
We can give them a list of the names?
That's us.
Okay,
Here we
that's
are.
us. Okay, that's no problem. I assume there's a privacy issue with giving out this list because who knows? You could sell it to Amazon if you get their.
Oh, I want to kind of sell it.
So if just not just for Mike, if anyone wants a list of the memberships, it's available, right?
The question is, do the members want this provided? And I don't see why they wouldn't want the list to be provided. We could provide the list of membership to Mike Goal with the understanding I cannot sell it.
That's reasonable to me. Bill, you got any comment on this?
That's what I thought should happen already.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's provide him with a list of the membership.
Okay, Mike, you're gonna get your list.
Okay, but I would like the list so that I can contact other members in terms of lobbying, in terms of discussing.
As long as you're not selling this list to Amazon or
No,
anyone
I'm not
like that,
selling it.
these people like their privacy. This is Slab City.
I don't need the money.
All right.
Well, I need the money, but
Well, I'll tell you
I'm not
what.
selling it.
Apparently, you're gonna get your list.
There you go.
Would you like it right now?
As soon as possible.
Okay. We might have it right here. I'll give it right to you. Okay, we don't have it with it. I'll bring it to you personally ASAP. As soon as this is over, I'll bring it to you. Okay, yeah, we got. That's another thing, Mike. This list grows every hour. You know, there's people signing up just today to
That's what
this.
Mike Wright wanted the fucking receipt book for. Right now, people are signing up.
I think we're done with that. Thank you.
Okay, we have another letter that has been received, but we didn't receive it in time to bring it up in this meeting, so we'll be dealing with it.
I will acknowledge I have your second letter. I will deal with this on the second meeting. I have no time to read this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your cooperation and your participation, Mike. We appreciate it. So now we're on at the point of introductions from the elected board of directors. So each director is going to get up and talk for no more than 2 minutes. For some folks, I don't need this, but for guys like me, I do. Okay, so we're going to begin with Lynn.
You might need that thing for me. I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous about this. Sorry, I'm a little nervous about this. I'm gonna read the statement. I'll do my best to just talk to you and tell you what this says, but bear with me, please. And it might take a little more than 2 minutes. 2 years ago, that was in December of 2011, Kevin Eubanks came to me and he asked me to sit as a director on a charity he created called Salvation Mountain. And then I said yes. And then the little bugger died. However, I kept my word. Sometimes I can't disclose what goes on in their board meetings for Salvation Mountain unless it's public, unless it comes out from somebody who's not me, and it's said by that board that it can be talked about. So the land acquisition for Salvation Mountain was under a non-disclosure agreement from the Salvation Board of the Salvation Mountain Board. Now that board, it consists of 4 people from Slab City. It also consists of 5 people that are not from Slab City. I'm going to use the vernacular that I use to talk about this kind of stuff here. Those 5 people are from the Beast, and I think everybody here knows what I mean when I say that. I'm not calling them down or saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying that they live in the Beast, and 4 people live here in Slab City. So you can see that by the board of the Salvation Mountain, the people at Slab City do not have a majority on that board. In March of 2012, the Salvation Mountain board members started talking about buying a piece of property that the mountain is on from the state of California, and I was opposed to that motion. I was opposed because, in my view, buying one part of Slab City made the rest of Slab City vulnerable to a purchase by an outsider, somebody who wasn't from Slab City. The Salvation Mountain Board pursued the purchase of the land that the mountain is on. And in the summer of 2013, Jim Porter, who is with the California State Land Commission, contacted the Salvation Mountain Board about purchasing Slab City. They said that the Salvation Mountain Board said that they only wanted to purchase the land that the monument was on and a little bit more, some of the surrounding area. Now, you've all heard about the conversations between Bill and Jim Porter, and by the way, for my 2 cents, I believe my friend Bill's version of that event and of those conversations. Bill told me about his discussions with Jim Porter in the context of the Salvation Mountain Board. At the time when he told me that, I was in the hills of Oregon, up in the mountains, in northern Oregon. So I wasn't at Slab City. My husband was recovering from 7 weeks of radiation therapy at the time that he got in June and July of last year. We talked about the threat of someone else. Bill and I talked about the threat of someone else, someone that doesn't live at Slab City, owning the slabs. We talked about some corporate beast coming out here to buy it. I got another call from another board member in Slab City who confirmed that somebody had talked to her about purchasing the rest of Slab City. Once the Slab City was cut into pieces, like they're doing with the piece of land that Salvation Mountain is on, it would be simple for the State Land Commission to auction the rest of this land off. In fact, there was a concerted effort by the Land Commission to do just that. They indicated to Bill that they wanted it off their hands. We didn't know much about what it would cost. We knew from the conversations between Salvation Mountain Board, the Land Commission, Roger Bench of the California Toxic Waste Department, that they were extremely motivated to get rid of this land and to sell it. Salvation Mountain told the Land Commission the piece of land that they wanted. They sent it to Jim Porter in an email. It includes areas where people not related to Salvation Mountain live. They didn't ask or tell the people that live there about their plan to purchase that land. They just picked out a piece and they went forward with their plan to purchase that piece of land. Another board director, one that lives here outside of, there's another board director of Salvation Mountain, one that doesn't live here, indicated that he was interested in buying the rest of Slab City. He has a charity that could have done it. He was going to do it secretly. Bill and Cookie and I decided that what we needed to do was to protect Slab City from being purchased by the people in the beast. We decided to formalize Slab City Community Group into a charity. It's been operating for almost 2 years as an informal charity. We built the information kiosk. We hold meetings on Saturday morning that anybody can come to in an open forum and discuss what they want. We wanted to incorporate this charity. It's a 501(c) charitable tax status nonprofit. We haven't applied for that yet. You can see on the agenda that we haven't done it yet. That's what we want to do. We wanted to put an application for the land before the Land Commission so that we would clearly be on the record as a party that has to be contacted if there is any other applications for this land. Now, can I make that any clearer?
All you doubters, just understand what's happening.
The only way to do this is to make an application for the land. That's what I did. I drafted the documents to form the charity. 5 initial directors said that they would help to create it. The charity was set up as a land trust charity, a community land trust charity. I filed the articles back in October. I wrote the bylaws. The initial directors approved the bylaws. We called for an election of the board of directors and started asking people if they wanted to become members of the charity and or be on the board of directors. And we told them that the meeting was going to be on January 19th, 2014 at 1 o'clock at the range. In the meantime, okay, Salvation Mountain passed a motion to make the application for the land that they wanted at Slab City. And I knew that in order for Slab City to have the right to be involved in any land purchase, the applications had to be done at the same time. So that's what I did. I made both applications simultaneously. I know that I didn't have the approval of the people at Slab City. I know that I didn't have their permission to do this. And that I understand that you might be afraid of what I did. I know that change is difficult to face. However, I gotta tell you that I would do it again. I could not tell you where the threat from Slab City being purchased was going to come from because I'm under a non-disclosure agreement until some other people phoned Jim Porter and found out that 2 applications were on the table. Now I can confirm it. Right now, this land, if it's put up for auction like Jim Porter said it would be at any time, he has to notify this organization. If anyone is going to apply for this land, they have to tell us. I was going to apologize for doing this because I know that you guys want me to apologize for what I did without your knowledge. However, for me to do that, for me to apologize, would have to be saying that I think what I did was wrong, and I'm sorry, I don't. But it's on me. I knew that you wouldn't like it. I knew that I was going to face threats from all sides. I've lived here at Slab City for 5 years. I think that I can say that I know how things work here. If members of this charity or the elected board of directors want to make a motion to withdraw that application to the Land Commission, they can. There's a process to do that and to make that happen. Now I got something to tell you now. I have something to say about why I'm motivated to do this because I'm sure that that question is in all of the forefront of everybody's mind. And I apologize to my husband for bringing this up to you. I'm willing to face your wrath. My husband's dying. The only place that he can do that is right here at Slab City. The only place. He can't live in the beast, and I'm selfish, and I want him to have what he wants. And when he's dead, I need to be here. I need this community to help me heal. It's the only place on the planet
where I'm going to be able to get over losing it. So if you were expecting me to apologize, give me a minute to get myself in. If you are expecting me to apologize for a threat that I saw against the land where we live, if all of this is a ploy by the government to get somebody to pop up their head, I'm it. If you judge that I did something that I shouldn't have done, you can have your opinion. You're entitled to it. I truly believe that what I did was the right thing to do. I intentionally wanted people to pick a board of directors that represented them. I did this because I want Slab City to belong to the people at Slab City. And I want it to belong to all of us and to all of you.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, the next person on the list is Bill.
Now, the guy who's a leader of people we might call the opposition is a dear and close friend of mine. He looks to me and he says, "Bill, can't you see that what you're doing is bringing the beast down on us?" And I say, "Mike, how is it that you can't see they're already coming?" When Salvation Mountain started getting organized, we had to talk about the paint with the toxic waste department. So we met Roger Vince. He actually came to a board meeting at Salvation Mountain. And it was his idea that we might apply for this land transfer. Now, but then again, how would he even know that? I'll tell you how he knew, because he was already talking with Jim Porter at the State Lands Commission. Now, Jim Porter says that there's no plans to sue, for the toxic waste people to sue the land management people. But that's not what he said to me. He didn't speak of a particular case, but he did say, "I'm worried about this coming to court and causing trouble between these two state agencies." And when I asked him, "What's going to happen if we don't do anything?" Straight out I asked him. And he said that sooner or later he expected it'd have to go up to auction. Now the man told me that, and he said other things since then apparently, but that scared the hell out of me. This is my home. I've invested here. I got nowhere to go. And then I asked him, "Well, how long do I have?" Because they're saying it's not imminent. I said, "How long do we have to make a move on this?" He said, "About the end of the year." This was last year. This really happened. And I know other things have been said since then, but all of that scared the hell out of me. And that's why I brought the idea to Lynn, because she's the one who knows how to organize stuff. And Mike, I love you. I'm trying to save everything you're trying to save.
We just have a different way of doing it. We're all the same team, Mike.
And that's me.
Thank you, Bill. Normally I would call on Cookie to speak next, but she was called away on a family emergency. And she struggled to get back here, but she's on the bus. She hasn't quite got here yet. So it's my turn. My name is Wyatt Suboran. I'm from Canada, Victoria, BC specifically. I own a house there that I've owned for 33 years, and I share that house with my bride, who's with me right now. In January 2006 was the first time that I saw Slab City, and I wasn't all that impressed. But you know, over the 9 years that I've been coming here, I've grown to know and love Slab City. And so I got involved in this organization, even though I've spent an untold number of hours studying the bylaws and learning about these things. But one of the things that I've wondered, what puzzles me, is that it seems so clear to me on the evidence of Bill and Cookie that Slab City is at risk. And yet there's some of you out there who just don't believe that. That puzzles me. And part of it, what I've heard is that, well, this non-profit is making the slabs notorious. But you know, you think about it, over the years that I've been coming here, what's made Slab City get into the spotlight is movies like Into the Wild, the boondocking websites that list websites where you can camp free. You show me one that doesn't have Slab City on it. The national news coming out here and interviewing people who have been here for days, at most weeks, and then painting an invalid picture of the slabs. And now Grand Theft Auto, 1 billion copies sold. People all over the world know about Slab City, so we're in the spotlight. So I'm not, and my ambition here on this board is to maintain the status quo as much as possible. But I'm not saying there won't be change. There will be change. I had a neighbor who I enjoyed being parked beside for about 5 years. She's not coming back anymore because of health, and I miss her. And I know that each of you have had those same experiences. So there's going to be change. But my ambition, status quo. That finishes. So the next person to speak is Jen.
One of the things that I want everybody to know is that you asked us, you voted for us to come sit here and do this, and I want you guys to know that it has been incredibly hard. Honestly, I've worked in a lot of organizations, and I've never seen a group of people try so hard to do such a big task in such a little amount of time. Researching, investigating, listening to stakeholders, seeking input. We've all talked to dozens of people this week, and I accepted a nomination to this board because I wanted to know if there was a real threat. If there was a real threat to the slabs, if there was a threat to my home. And at this time, after all the research I've done, after all the research that other people on this board have brought forward, after investigating into leads that other people on the Facebook pages have posted, I believe even more strongly than I did before that there is a real threat. I honestly believe that. I think that there is a real threat that an outside developer will take our homes. And I don't want that. And I have no goal as a director to do anything other than try to keep the slabs like they are right now. And I honestly believe, given the report that I read from Mr. Sock, because I read that whole thing, and I read Gail's post too, and I read the transcript from the phone call from Peaches, and I realized that some people think that those letters are evidence that there isn't a threat, and I think they're reading it maybe a little wrong. I want to encourage you guys to actually read those reports, because to me, when I went through line by line, I saw clear as day that there is a very real threat, and those posts confirm it. Our homes are in danger, and I want you to know that I want to listen to what you have to say. I want to talk to you. And I want to help, but most of all, I want to keep the slabs the way they are. I've had people tell me that they honestly believe that if we just do nothing, everything will stay the same. But you know what? I also heard the same thing from downtown LA's Skid Row. And I don't know if anyone else has lived around Skid Row, but I've watched Skid Row shrink from about 26 square blocks to about 8. They've lost 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and it is now between 8th and 12th. They lost Maine, they lost Winston, they lost Los Angeles. They're about to lose Wall. They're pushing them past San Julian, and they're pushing in from Alameda too, to Central. So now, Skid Row's about 8 square blocks, and now they're pushing them down below the 10. And so if you think honestly that nothing's going to change just because nothing ever has, I encourage you to go read about what's happening in downtown LA. I encourage you to read about the Albany Bowl up in Oakland. That's gone. They closed it out.
We're not in LA.
You could also suggest Pajarito Mesa in New Mexico, having a very similar problem.
Yeah, and the examples are there, and I urge you to look at them.
Dude, Albany Bowl is a good example. I actually lived in Albany Bowl.
Jack, we're both out of order.
Oh, I'm out of order.
That's cool. The 10 of us have learned to trust each other, and that, I think, was a little challenging for all of us at first. And we worked really hard to try and really figure out what's going on. But we have learned to trust each other, we've learned to work together, and I hope that you guys can learn to trust us too, because we really do want what you want. We want to keep our homes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Now we'll hear from Justin, the treasurer-elect.
Can everybody hear me? My voice is really messed up. Yes? All right. I just want to say the things that bark. Yeah. I just want to say the things that Lynn said. I've known about for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and going into this, when I talked up here at the voting meeting, before somebody else nominated me and I got put in this place because I care about it, the only 2 things that I had a problem with was everybody here with their feet on the ground was not allowed to have their say. Obviously, if their feet were on the ground, they gave a shit, right? And I think I voiced those opinions pretty loudly. The other thing was we were all kept in the dark as to why it had to be done. And the last few days since I've known about it, I was willing to tell a couple of people that I believed, I've known the whole time I've been here since March of '06, that they were intelligent people, that were just hung up on a couple of little things. I was going to tell them this information I knew, even though I didn't have permission to do it. I was willing to get in trouble. I didn't care, because I thought everybody needed to know. Those people decided to get nitpicky and get hung up on other things that mean absolutely nothing. That is never going to happen. They're not understanding what's going on because they didn't ask questions. None of us understood what was going on in the beginning because the information wasn't available. Now it all is. One other thing, Gary, Mr. Fred Sock, I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology because when I answered you on Facebook, I thought that you were another person named Gary, and I thought that you were just stirring the pot. Had I known it was you, a different personality, a different person, I would have known that those same words were coming from a completely different perspective, and I apologize to you for saying you're full of shit and stirring the pot.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
My apologies. I thought you were a whole nother Gary. You know, when you have a persona on Facebook that's really original, like Fred Sock, somebody might confuse you.
Nobody confuses Fred Sock.
That's right, copyright Mr. Sock. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Justin. Now we'll hear from Jack, the secretary-elect.
I'm Jack Two Horses. I'm the secretary of this board. I'm the secretary of this board. This corporation is kind of odd. It's an incorporation. Okay, check it out. I moved here 2 years ago from San Francisco. The economy crashed. I lost my fucking life. I found this place. For the first time in my life, I'm allowed to do what the fuck I want and not be told no. I came here I took some rusted cans and some bottles, and I put it in a circle around my trailer. And then everybody in Slab came up to me and said, "Hey, nice camp, dude. Welcome to Slab City." And inside that camp, I've been able to do what the fuck I want with no one telling me no. It's been a problem with my life. I've been told no. Everything I want to do. No, you can't do that. I come here, I can do anything I fucking want. Okay? So, I ran for this board, and I got the most votes in Slab City. The reason I was voted to this board was to throw a monkey wrench in it. I know the people that voted for me. I know what you said in my ear. Shut it down, Jack. Shut it the fuck down. Since I've been on the board, I've had access to information I didn't have before. This is not an attempt to charge you people rent. This is not an attempt to control your lives. This is an attempt so you guys can do what I do and do what the fuck I want in my camp. Hell yeah! Okay, so everyone's here, whether you live here year-round, whether you're in an RV and you have to leave for the summer because it's too fucking hot and you come back, or whether you have a brick and mortar house somewhere else, you're all slabbers. I got everybody's back in this. Everybody's back. If people know me, I would not do anything that's gonna fuck anybody over. I'm getting a lot of heat because I am now down with this and I was voted to be against it. So like I said, I've had access to information. I understand what's going on now. If we don't do this, somebody else is going to come in and do it for us. Someone else is going to come in and snag this land up and kick us out. Do you think Builder Bill would risk the fucking range? Look at what he's built here. Do you think this guy would do anything to jeopardize this? I've heard a lot of people tell me, you don't trust Bill, you don't trust Lynn because she's a lawyer, and you don't trust Cookie because, listen, they had their reasons. Their best interest is Slab City. Lynn Bright, Builder Bill, and Cookie have nothing but you guys' best interest. They're not out to screw you people. I have found this out. So, I don't know what else to say then. We're here to protect you and to keep this the way it is. Actually, to even improve it. We're actually going to get improvements. You know what? We're just going to get better here for us. The garbage is a big thing. Everyone knows that a lot of this garbage is not ours. It's brought in, the people don't want to pay at the dump, and they fucking dump their shit on us. It's over. That's over, dude. You guys gotta understand that. We're gonna clean up this place. It's gonna be better for everyone. And everybody can still do what the fuck you want in your camp, and no one's gonna charge you rent. Okay, I'm tired of hearing this shit that we're gonna charge you to live in your camp. It's not true. I'm done.
Thanks, Jack. Now we'll hear from Board Member Marty.
What are y'all doing this afternoon? Those who don't know me, I've been here for 5 years, squatting on a piece of land that I come to love. This land here, we're all squatters, and people who know me well enough know I'm going to be one of the last persons here in front of that bulldozer when they roll up, if you ever do. So I hope the rest of you are going to join me because it's going to be lonely out there. I want to keep this the last free place in America, and more power to each and every one of us.
Thank you, Marty. Now we'll hear from Vice President-elect Peter Dave.
Howdy, howdy. I've been opposed to structure about since I was born. My mama used to tell me at about the age of a year, 18 months, when I first started to walk, I used to try and climb out of the yard. When my wife and I rolled in here about 10 years ago, just bopping between free camping places in Southern California, I felt like I'd come home. And more the better, because all the best words said this land was limbo land. Nobody's ever going to want to do nothing with it or can. So I don't have to worry about any of that junk. As it's come up to this, actually before it came up to this, I had my get out gut flutter go off about 5 years ago. I had no idea why, other than just little things were coming together, nothing depended on. But we come down here to about January 14th, and Lynn Bright came to me and laid out what was going on and said, I'd like you to sit on the board. Normally being opposed to structures, I would have said, hell no. But something told me, no, Dave, you need to get involved. And to explain that, I need to tell just a small story. You see, in the book of Esther in the Bible, the king of Persia got tired of his wife. He shut her up off somewhere and put out a call for a new wife. A young lady, a young Jew named Esther, got chosen. Now the king didn't know she was a Jew. And things were going on that made it real hazardous for her to be a Jew. There were plots afoot against all the Jews, but her uncle Mordecai, who raised her, told her, Esther, you've got to step up. What if you were raised up for such a time as this? And that's the way I feel about this. God's placed me in a certain place in time with certain things going on, and then he gives me that push. He says, go boy, go. And we want to keep the slabs like they are. And as I said in my nomination, this can be a demonstration project for other places in the country, in the world. There's other places where there's land, nobody's doing nothing with it. And people need it. God bless you all.
Thank you, Dave. And now we'll hear from Christina, President-elect.
There's a reason why I'm pausing.
Speak up.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Sorry guys, my voice is really low because I've been out here talking to you guys as best I can. My name is Christina Swistak, also known as Dreamcatcher. And I am emotional right now, even though I'm telling all these guys not to be emotional before this meeting. I came here January 14, 2012. I came from Quartzsite, Arizona because, guys, I used to vent. I make jewelry. I lost my butt. I can't make it out there anymore. I gave up my home life in 2010. The day of election was also my 4-year anniversary of being on the road living this life. But when I came here in 2012, I was trying to escape Quartzsite, one, because I wasn't making any money, two, I was freaking cold. So I'm looking for the closest hot springs. Guess where it's at? Right here. Right here. And so I look online and I'm trying to find out about Slab City. Dude, it was not pretty. All I saw was about the trash and the thieving and all that stuff. But I'm cold. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, screw it. I'll go check it out for a week. Almost 5 months later, I left here for an opportunity to go up to Oregon. And I got to meet more slabbers up in Oregon. And they opened their home, just like everybody opened themselves out here for me when I got here. Now, if anybody remembers me from 2012, I sat back in that back row right there here in the range. And I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't come dance up here. And I was very scared and timid. Hard to believe, probably, for the others. While I was up in Oregon, I got an announcement from my eldest daughter that I was about to be a grandmother. So my trip was fixing to be going from Oregon all the way to Alamogordo, New Mexico. And the powers that be, and believe me, there were a lot of them, I got stuck in Wickiup, Arizona. And I had friended a few people here from the Slabs on my Facebook. And those few people, like Internet Frank and several others, those ones were the ones just sitting there go, hang in there, girl. We're praying for you. You've always got a home to come here. Guys, I wasn't coming back. I just don't know. I didn't know if I fit in or not. And then an opportunity came and I got another rig. I blew the engine out in my rig on my way trying to go see my daughter. And then here was the other part. I was 1,600 miles away from her, and I was 600 miles away from here. I only had a certain amount of money left. In Slab City, here I came. I had to turn around and not meet my grandson. And for that, I'm estranged from both of my daughters. I had nothing else. So I came back here. And when I came back, going straight to the internet cafe, and I kid you not, I kissed the ground. I kissed that slab because I felt like I was home. Now let's fast forward. I didn't know if I was going to be able to skate here last summer. Guess what? I didn't. I stayed. And there was a tighter grip of people that stay here year-round. And I kind of get it. It's not fun, but it is fun. It's hot. It's miserable. You're wet. It's gross. I love our cooling spots. I won't disclose where. I love the spray bottles. And the time I was here in the summer, I got more confidence, feeling like I did belong. And then all the snowbirds started to come back in. And oh my God, it was quiet until y'all got back. But I was so glad. And then let's fast forward. Here we are, and I'm hearing about these rumors about the land could be taken out from under us. Well, yeah, it's true. I've gotten to hear a lot of stories. We all come from everywhere. We're internationally eclectic. Not nationally, we're internationally. We're globally eclectic, diverse people. And here we all are. Do I agree with all the tactics done on it? Before I knew the information, no. Now that I know the information, dude, take this from my cold dead hands. Take this land from my cold dead hands because I have nowhere else to go. And you guys elected me on the 19th, and when Andra came and congratulated me, I didn't just become a board of director, I'm a resident representative. Okay? Wow. Remember I said when I first came here? I believe in this. Yes, we've got some fine-tuning to do. There's clerical errors in some of the paperwork. No, we're not getting everything down, you know, dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's perfectly. That's what we need everybody for. That's what a community is about. Here is an opportunity we don't have. This isn't just about the land. The land is an issue. That was the beginning. But there's a bigger picture. And one of the things we discussed is being elected now as the president of this board. Sorry, I'm having a little wow. I will fight for anybody around here. I am a person who seeks nothing but truth. Ask anybody around here how I feel about being lied to. And how I deal with being lied to. I have an infamous bat, girls rule. I haven't had to actually use it, but you know, it helps to have. It keeps the big dogs away. Anyways, I'm going to do my utmost best, but I can't do this alone. This board can't do it alone. And I understand there's some butthurt feelings or feeling like you're not being included. Here's your transparency you asked for. We're having the board meeting in public. Here's what we're doing the best we can. We're human. We just got the information. We're going to get more, and we've got a lot of business to do. So with this, all I can say is thank you, Slab City, for being here for me. And my job is to keep it here for everybody new.
Thank you, Christina. A little bit of housekeeping. There's an Ask It basket over there by the membership sign-up. Any of you have questions, please fill them out and put it in the Ask It basket. We also have up at the front here on the stage, there's water, chips, bananas, and mandarin. We'd ask you to come up and take just one of each, so there's enough for everybody. Okay, we're into the business session now. Well, the water, the chips, the bananas, and the mandarin were graciously provided by Andra. Thank you, Andra. Okay. Okay, the business session. So the business session is now open. See, so the first point of order in the business is a motion to open a bank account.
I second.
Well, the motion has to be made. Who's making the motion?
Hi, my name is Christina Swistak. I am president of the board. I make a motion to open a bank account at Sun Community Credit Union in Calipatria. That the account have 3 officers with signing authority, being Dave, Justin, and Marty. And debits from the account require at least 2 of the 3 signatures from these officers for withdrawals.
I second.
Motion made to open a bank account and seconded by Justin. Is there any discussion on this motion? Any discussion on the motion? You ready for the question? All in favor of opening a bank account? Say aye. Any opposed? Okay, it's unanimous. The motion to open a bank account is passed. The second item, a motion to file IRS Form 1023.
Christina Swistak, President. I make a motion to prepare and file with the IRS a Form 1023 so that our nonprofit organization can receive charitable tax status under Section 501(c)(3) of Income Tax Act.
Motion by Christine.